What? Right now we are joined with Marie Wilson of BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. I guess we can say that, Marie, right? Like you're with BeyondTheBlastDoors.com.
Yeah.
Welcome. How are you doing today, Marie?
Absolutely. I'm great. Doing awesome.
Marie joined us within the last week, and it was kind of like a spontaneous conversation we had. I was just like, listen, like I've been following your stuff for about a year now on Twitter. I think you're really cool. Do you have time to join us and maybe help us out and kind of get our website going? And she's like, yeah, I think I can give you something. I'm like, so like, what do you think? Like once a month, once every couple of months? She's like, I can do like once a week. I'm like, okay, do you want to be friends too? And that's when I didn't get a response. So I guess I escalated too quickly. But Marie, it is so good to have you here with us. Don't have a whole lot of time, but let's just kind of, if you can give us a brief, explanation of your role in the fandom. What do you have a blog that you've taken care of for years, and you're very active at cons doing panels. So kind of give us a breakdown of what you do in the Star Wars world.
So I have a blog called The Star Wars Review, which I have been working on for the past 2 years now, ever since Dragon Con Trivia, my first Dragon Con Trivia top 10 finalist happening. So that was sort of what spurred me into doing that. And then I have been going to cons and doing panels. Can't think. I'm doing panels, and I did a couple panels on LGBTQ Star Wars characters and species, and I've done a trivia contest, and I've done a couple panels on Star Wars canon connections.
So clearly Marie is very knowledgeable and very involved, and while she talks diversity in Star Wars, her interest in Star Wars itself is diverse. So we're just really glad that you're part of this, and of course, working with us now on BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. Your debut article this past week was the 5 best places for you to start reading to expand your knowledge of A New Hope. It was titled a lot more concisely than what I just rattled off. But, can you walk us through, there isn't a lot of New Hope canon, but there's enough for you to get confused, and so you set out this kind of how-to guide to tackle this era. Can you explain the fun that you had writing that list? Was it challenging? Was it fun? Did you hate it? Did you hate your debut article? I can't think you did.
No, I had a great time. I was prepared because of the panels I've done on canon connections. So I keep track. I read all the canon, everything from children's books to reference books to adult books. And so I keep track of all that. And writing this was just what from A New Hope, what canon literature about A New Hope adds to the story and gives you more details that really flesh everything out and bring it more fully to life.
Marie, Nick is someone that was with the show at the very beginning, and he's been away. We brought him back. We've explained that a few times on the show already. But he is someone that really likes the movies, but he doesn't really explore the books or the comics. You're talking to Nick. Nick, say hi.
Hi.
Tell Nick why he needs to explore the universe beyond the movie of A New Hope.
Well, there is so much backstory to be had for the different characters to start. The Princess, the Scoundrel, and the Farm Boy goes into great detail about that on Han, Luke, and Leia. And then you've got From a Certain Point of View with 40 short stories about previously undisclosed and minor characters. And it just makes the movie so much more powerful.
I think that reading your list was like really fun because it's not just like I thought you'd do like, From a Certain Point of View, but she talks about like the 40th anniversary canon novel of the movie. Mm-hmm. She got into comic books. And by the way, kudos to you. We tweeted out, her article and like tagged the writers of the books and comics that she selected. Kevin Scott, who's part of this Project Luminous that we have no idea it is about. He retweeted it and said thank you. So like kudos to you because you got Kevin Scott's attention. But she kind of goes through like not just like the main comics, but she picked up on like I know that the Grand Moff Tarkin, the Star Wars Age of Rebellion comic was on there. The Han and Chewie Star Wars Adventures was on there. So like her analysis it runs deep, not just in the books that she includes, but she doesn't just take the top layer of canon books that you can read. She really dug in deep. And I guess before we ask the final question, is there anything that you guys are curious to ask Marie while we have Marie here? Or do we need to dive into what's next with Marie?
I've got a question for you, Marie. Out of the 40 stories we got out of a certain point of view, which one was your favorite?
Oh, good question. Good question. Good question.
Probably of MSC6 and Men,
Okay.
because it was hysterical and it was an example of LGBTQ characters in Star Wars.
And which is obviously something that's really important to you personally, right?
Yes.
It's very cool to see how I'm talking with a lot of friends now who feel like more parts of themselves are reflected in the Star Wars story, which I think is like super cool. And that's another reason why I'm so glad that Marie is with us, because there's so much representation and respect that she has for so many different parts of the Star Wars community. And I just think that you're someone that's really able to articulate those things very well. Where others struggle, you do so well at. So, Marie, before we let you go, can you just tell us what's next? What's in store for us this week on Beyond the Blast Doors with, I don't know, what do you want to say, from your keyboard?
This week I'm going to be doing a canon reader's guide to Count Dooku.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got a couple of brand new things that just came out, and then there's some comic books that came out last year that delve into Count Dooku.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm on chapter 21, Marie. I did what you did. I got the Audible free trial. And I've been tearing through that thing. I'm really excited to get your take on that. It's an incredible experience. The first audiobook only release from Del Rey Star Wars. So it's really funny. It feels like radio theater. I mean, it is really fun. They had the Star Wars, like the John Williams score underneath and the sound effects. Like every time a lightsaber ignites, it's just like, oh, and you're like, it's so great in your ear. So really excited. And we'll be able to find that 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's Central Time on Beyond the Blast Doors. Right, Marie?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, Marie, before we let you go, let us know, where can we find you on social media?
I am at Alia Morgaine on Twitter, and M. Elizabeth Wilson on Instagram, but my Instagram is mostly things that I knit and crochet.
Awesome. I love it.
You know, what I really do appreciate is that intimate amount that you allow us into your life. That's really great. I don't knit, but I respect the art. So, Marie, thank you so much. We are truly, all joking aside, so glad you're with us with Beyond the Blast Doors. And it's pretty cool that we get to end this interview by saying that was BeyondTheBlastDoors.com's Marie Wilson, our chief editor on BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. Look at that. You come on the show, you get a brand new title. Marie, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, guys.